Before we get into this, make sure to leave a like if you enjoy, or you can wait till the end and I'll have earned it, and subscribe. I will be dropping videos like this all offseason long. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and it looks like Bill Belichick will not be coaching in the NFL in 2024, going for that all-time wins record, and if he does, he at least won't be doing it as a head coach. And if you had told me a year ago that Bill Belichick would not be able to find a head coaching job anywhere in the NFL, honestly, I would not be that surprised. I made a video on this channel at the beginning of the 2022 NFL season saying that I expected the Patriots' downfall to begin sooner rather than later. This was due to a number of things. It was mainly due to a lack of offensive talent. I just thought they invested way too much into middling players. And I thought the AFC East was pretty much lapping them as far as, how to move forward building a modern NFL team. And all those things turned out to be true. Granted, even though I thought the Patriots were going to fall off, I never saw them being as bad as they have been the past 2 years under Bill Belichick. And if you had told people a year ago that Bill Belichick was going to be available and on the open market, it would probably be assumed that he was going to be a slam dunk candidate that owners would be falling over themselves to acquire, giving him anything, giving him a blank check, giving him ownership stake in the team. And I thought the thought process, just based on the fact that, past successes can get you so far in the NFL, probably further than it should. Case in point, Mike McCarthy. I thought that he was going to get scooped up rather quickly. And I thought that he was going to be the number one candidate for a lot of teams this offseason who needed someone like him. For example, I thought he was going to be number one for Carolina. I thought he'd be number one for Atlanta. But to be completely honest, he's just not cut out to continue coaching in the modern NFL. And if he does, he at least needs to take a gap year. But there was a lot of stuff under Bill Belichick's ending time with New England that probably rose a lot of questions with, the Atlanta Falcons in particular were a team that he looked like he was pretty much pegged to go to. With Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, and the Atlanta Falcons, I believe they were the only team he actually seriously was about to get a job with. But there was a lot of stuff that went on that would deter me if I was an NFL owner, if I was Arthur Blank, that would prevent me from hiring him. At this point in his career as a 71-year-old coach, I would need a lot of explanations from him for what went down at the end of his time in New England in the post-Brady era. I won't deny, at the end of 2019, it was clearly time for both sides to move on, but nothing after that was a right decision. I completely and wholeheartedly understand why he was not chosen for the Atlanta head coaching gig, but to be honest, I'm not the least bit surprised. I was surprised they went with Morris of all guys, especially considering his already poor track record and with Tampa Bay almost a decade ago. But if I was the one involved in Bill Belichick's search with the Falcons, I'd need some explanations for a few things. I'd need to hear about why he went with Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, and Bill O'Brien to run his offense, in addition to who he would plan on in bringing for his offensive coordinator if he was going to be my head coach. And I'd need some explanations as to what happened with Mac Jones and how he looked like he was on the right track in 2021 to be one of the worst starters in the league right afterwards. In 2022 and 2023, he was literally a non-asset, easily one of the worst starters in the league. And I'd also want some insight as to evaluation for offensive skill position weapons and what his process was for signing guys like Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster, or drafting guys like Tyquan Thornton and N'Keal Harry, and why that unit not only was super invested into, but was one of the highest paid groups of pass catchers in the league in terms of what was put into it via the salary cap. Realistically, with Bill Belichick and the Atlanta Falcons, I understand the hesitancy, and I understand why they went in a different direction. But let's talk about where does Bill Belichick go from here. So a lot of the defensive coordinator positions have already been, filled. I know that Green Bay got theirs with a few of the notable ones were Dallas. They hired Mike Zimmer. I know the Giants are still looking for one, which may be where Belichick could slot into with Brian Dable. What else? Off the top of my head, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of blanking on some more right now. I know the 49ers just got rid of Steve Wilkes yesterday, and honestly, not a bad call. I know they performed really well, or as well as they could in the Super Bowl, but too many times that defense went soft this year. So yeah, I don't see Bill Belichick sitting out in 2025. I get the idea behind it and why people are inclined to believe that he could, in theory, take a gap year, but the dude is also 71 years old. He's not in a position to take a gap year like Sean Payton did. And you never know with stuff like this, but I also just don't feel like Bill Belichick genuinely enjoys himself as a human being like Sean Payton does. And if I was a guy like, I don't know, let's just say a random player that he could have coached, Drake London, why would I want to be a part of the Patriot way where you're rarely ever allowed to have fun? This goes back to reasons why I would not hire Bill Belichick. I mean, there's a reason playing for a team like the Lions is going to be so highly sought after because the culture in Detroit is unbelievable. It's been one of the biggest talking points of the NFL over the past few years. And I don't think players who have played for, 6, 7 years are going to want to be a part of the Bill Belichick culture and the Patriot way, and Bill Belichick bringing his Patriot way to another place. Even Brady said that there was no way on God's green earth that he would ever resign to be a part of something they had in New England ever again. But anyway, as far as what I think Bill Belichick will do in 2024, I think it is a perfect fit for him to go to the 49ers. And Kyle Shanahan is a good enough coach to where people are not going to be clamoring for his head, if they have an embarrassing loss or two. Like, I mean, if the Giants were, 2-6 midway through 2024, I could see a bunch of fans just being like, you know what, just fire Dable, just let Belichick take over. But anyway, so that's what I think Bill Belichick should do in 2024. Given that all the head coaching vacancies are filled and available, I think that this is his best route. Uh, because he was not hired this coaching cycle. Therefore, he has to wait for something to open up. And I think mid-season, if we do see a coach get fired, I can't think of many that are like in hot water outside of, Salah and I don't know. I'm kind of blanking on the rest. But anyway, I think that Bill Belichick should be the defensive coordinator of the 49ers this upcoming year. And then he should try re-rolling in the next head coaching cycle. Because he didn't get a job this year. And one team, I promise you, if it's not mid-season this upcoming year, is going to be desperate enough to want to hire Bill Belichick in the offseason. So yeah, that's what I think you should do. Like if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.